Why, hello there. Welcome to This Week in Sports. Of course, I am your host with the most. My name is Zach. Along with me, I have my co-host, Nick.
Howdy, howdy.
And who knows what you're going to get this week. Might be some more new segments, might be some of the same old stuff. We kind of mix it up every once in a while just to get a feel. But this week, we've had a whole array of sports news for you. The NFL has finally kicked off. We are in the breath of football season, everyone's favorite time of year, at least if you're in the United States. And then we have a bunch of other sports to cover. So let's start at what has happened this offseason. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on the ice to begin. What do you have for us, Nick?
Sure thing. For hockey this week, no real Avs news in particular. We did get a little update on that new CBA, though, and the timeline on how we're going to be implementing that and how that does actually benefit the Avs for some of our contract decisions coming up here in the near future. So if you didn't follow along with our coverage through the offseason, the Hockey Players Association in the league did agree on a new or an extension of the collective bargaining agreement, and some of those changes are getting implemented this season, specifically the new rule on needing to be salary cap compliant for the playoffs. Which is a big change up and will certainly affect how a lot of teams are building their roster. Specifically, where that benefits us, we are coming into this season with just a teensy little bit, but still enough to be, to call it cap room. Just $1 million here or there, but in the hockey world, that can still do a fair bit of work. Now, what this means is after the trade deadline, if a team's roster is built in such a way that you know all your players would be over the cap, you just won't be able to dress them for the playoffs. You'll have to sit somebody. And as that seems like a waste of money, because you will still have to pay them even if they don't get to play for you, most teams who are in that situation are going to have to be looking to shed some contract weight at the deadline this year. And if you're a team like us that has some room to take someone on, that's a benefit for us. So yeah, we will see how teams like the Golden Knights and the Panthers are feeling come this trade deadline. The Panthers, we already know, are going to be, the way they're constructed currently as of day one of the new season, they will not be able to dress all their skaters for the playoffs.
And it doesn't kick in until next year, right?
So the extension doesn't kick in until next calendar year. But they've decided that this is such an important thing that they're going to implement it for this season's playoffs.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's the big news on that portion. The rest of the changes will not be implemented until next September, so a year from now. The other reason that benefits us is that we have one very important person we need to sign an extension for this summer, and that is one Mr. Cale Makar. If we are able to get him a contract extension before next September, we can sign him to an 8-year deal. If we wait till after September, the maximum contract he can sign is 7. So it really behooves us to get that extra year locked down for us.
Yeah, extra year would be good, especially with at his age. He becomes like in his 30s-ish, 32, 33.
Cale Makar is 26 currently. Another 8-year deal
34.
would put him to 32? 34, yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's one of those guys you don't want to see playing in another sweater, at least until you've squeezed at least 15 years out of him.
Ideally. Who knows what his career holds for him, but I would expect that Joe Sakic has done most right things by at least McKinnon and Makar thus far.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that this era as we're rolling into with these new contracts, the Nathan McKinnon contract is going to look like a steal. His $12.25 million. I mean, Cale Makar is already a steal at $9 million on his current deal. So he's going to be up in that like 13-14 million range, almost certainly. Will probably set the market for defensemen for the next 5 years after whatever he signs. And then Yeah, I mean, we also have McDavid drama. This was kind of the summer for Edmonton to. If things were going well in Edmonton, Connor McDavid would have already signed a contract.
Things aren't going well over there.
They are not having the best time in their hunt for the cup. No, so yeah, that's going to be looming all over this season coming up ahead. Is Connor McDavid going to leave Edmonton? Because this is the year that they like. If he plays out this season and they don't win a cup, I don't know. He's going to hit free agency. People will be backing the door up to his house to try and also get a contract signed before September for that 8-year max, and it could very well reshake how we look at. Who's a powerful roster in the NHL. So all sorts of fun stuff there. But that is, like mostly contractual stuff. The other note out of hockey from the end of this week here, a little bit of a bummer. We do have to say rest in peace to Ken Dryden, an absolute hockey legend, played goalie for the Montreal Canadiens in the 70s, did pass earlier this week after a battle with cancer. But, I mean, so he was before our time, obviously. Most casual sports fans might recognize Ken Dryden as the play-by-play color commentator, like pairing with Al Michaels during the 1980 Miracle on Ice game. That's Ken Dryden providing the color commentary there. Fun fact, Ken Dryden is there in that 1980 Olympics providing color commentary after having won the Stanley Cup the year before.
Because he can't play because did he retire? It doesn't.
So
matter
he wouldn't have been playing for Team Canada anyway, but he wasn't playing in the NHL.
Okay.
Going back through Ken Dryden's timeline is pretty wild. This guy has basically was basically a premier goalie prospect his entire life. But he was drafted at age 16 by the Boston Bruins, but when he decided that he was going to go to college instead, they traded his rights away to the Montreal Canadiens. He played 3 years at Cornell. No, he played all 4 years at Cornell, won the championship 3 seasons of his 4 there. Then in 1970, finally joined the professional league with the Montreal Canadiens. He spent most of that year at their AHL, like AAA level, where he was an absolute beast. So they called him up for like the last month of the regular season. He got 6 starts there, and that was impressive enough to name him the starter for the playoffs. He led them to a Stanley Cup that very first year, won the Conn Smythe Trophy as most valuable player, and then the next season won Rookie of the Year.
Sure, yeah, as most do.
So that puts him in 72. He plays again in 73. After the 73 season, he has 2 Stanley Cups to his name, and he says the Canadians aren't paying him enough for this job, so he's taking the year off. And is true to his word. He just says, that's not enough money for me. I'm walking. Does not play the 73 season and instead works at a law firm in Toronto.
Because he does have the degree from Cornell.
He went to college. So after a year, the Canadians came back and said, please play goalie for us again.
This is similar to the Kurt Warner, except Kurt Warner was a bag boy at a grocery store, not a powerful lawyer somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. So Ken Dryden says, all right, if you're going to back the truck up for me, and in the 70s, backing the truck up was not very impressive.
Which is why he was like,
I can go make more money as a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he does come back 74 through 78. He wins the Vezina Trophy all 4 years, adds 2 more cups. He walks away after 8 seasons in the NHL, only played during the 70s. After the 78-79 season, they win the cup again. To his name, he has 5 Vezina trophies, 6 Stanley Cups, 8 seasons played.
And he says, I'm bored of this now.
And walks away, gets in the media, he writes a couple of books that are very highly renowned in the hockey world. Goes on in the 90s to become So first he becomes an executive for the Maple Leafs, joins them as a team president for a while.
Traitor.
Then leaves them to go join Canadian Parliament. And
this guy's a weird biography.
I mean, a trailblazer in terms of the notion of what a professional athlete can do in their post-playing career. He was one of the first guys to be like, I'm done playing, but you haven't heard the last of me. But yeah, so we honor the OGs, and a salute to the trail that Ken Dryden blazed, putting up outrageous numbers in the goal, and then a very impressive career off the ice as well. Highly touted, highly respected by everyone in the game, and will be highly missed.
Indeed.
And that was all of my hockey news.
Yeah. Now, let me tell you a story. We have a lot of different segments. This one is we're going to be covering the world of the NBA today.
Oh boy.
I'm sure you may or may not have heard the story. Probably may not, because hasn't leaked outside of the wide world of sports quite yet. So let me tell you a story, give you a hypothetical. Mm-hmm. In this hypothetical, you got fired from your job as the NFLPA. Lucky you.
Okay.
You are now the executive of the NBA. You get to be Adam Silver himself. Gotta shave your head first, unfortunately.
Hot diggity. Well, if the paycheck's worth it, I guess.
Oh, I think it's more than worth it. Hypothetical in this one is, let's say we know a guy, and maybe you've looked into this guy once or twice, didn't find anything super duper wrong.
Okay.
But let's say this guy is getting paid $28 million for basically to promote a thing. The thing may or may not be a real thing. There's questions about that.
Interesting.
But he is in his contract. It is stated he's getting paid $28 million, and all he has to do is show up if he wants, maybe.
Okay.
But the person who is signing this contract also is the investor of this company, is the owner of his team.
Okay.
Now, this may not sound like a problem, except there's this thing in most sports, and it's coming to you very, very soon in the MLB, called a salary cap.
Yep.
So, may or may not be super kosher, perhaps.
Okay.
The guy we are talking about here goes under his company name for this is KL2.
Mm-hmm.
Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, I have heard a little bit of rumblings about this.
Yes, so our friend Pablo Torre, once again, has just been on the investigative. Unfortunately, he still has to do the NFL stuff, and this ended up in his lap because this green company, bank, whatever, was basically a farce. Oops. What a surprise. But their highest paid person is Kawhi Leonard, who's getting paid $28 million to do absolutely nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And the only issue with that is Ballmer's an investor in the company, and they are saying basically that it's all good.
Ah, I see. They're trying to get him some money off the salary cap books.
Correct.
Gotcha. So this is not he's not getting paid $28 million for anything basketball related.
So here's the crazy thing, right? Most people are like, okay, the owner of the team's an investor of the company. Sure, might go look at his players and maybe get them some money off of that. Like, I think most people would be like, sure, as long as he's going out and doing his due diligence, posting about whatever. One, he hasn't done anything, so that's a little sketchy. And two, the only thing that breaks the contract, right, is if he's no longer a Clipper. That's the only thing.
That is interesting, and yeah, a little bit damning, probably, if too many legal bodies start looking at the details on that.
I don't know. It could be
I have not gone to the law school, so I couldn't say for sure, but it sure sounds fishy.
It's something that you would want to look into since you are the commissioner of the NBA. Like,
oh right, that's my new job.
That is your new job.
I should look into that.
You probably maybe should look into that, and they've already investigated this once, where they've suspected that the Clippers have maybe been slipping some money to Kawhi around the back, because he signed a fairly team-friendly deal, and most were like,
interesting, yeah.
But why, though?
Mm-hmm. And the reason is he's making it up.
Maybe. We don't...
Allegedly.
A lot of allegedly's there. Mark Cuban went on the next day to go argue with Pablo, and he's team Ballmer. He's like, there's nothing really wrong with this. Like, he's an investor in the company, and the people from the company went and wanted to go get Kawhi. Nothing wrong there. Maybe, perhaps, except...
It's all by the book so far.
Yeah, and a lot of this is by, like, this thing you knew was a farce, and they're trying to tell you that all this stuff is happening. Why are we also believing them? Which I can get behind, but also $28 million to do nothing. Only thing stopping that's a break in the contract is that you're not on the team anymore, which is
seems like it's related to the basketball activities a little bit.
That seems like it's very related to the basketball activities, at least in my eyes as just a logic seeking person. But I don't know how the contracts are quite shaped. But Ballmer promises us that this is all very kosher, and this all happened well before he signed his extension, which sure, I guess.
Yeah, very fishy. Although, I mean, not terribly surprising that, one of the few remaining singular billionaires in the sports game is, like they say, if you're not trying to cheat, you're not trying to win.
Yeah, I mean, Ballmer's been, I will say this about him, I think he was like a Stanford grad or somewhere where very smart. He's very dedicated to the basketball game.
He wants that trophy. He wants to win.
He wants to win bad. And honestly, as an owner, good for you. I wish there were more of them. However, there are some right ways and wrong ways to do things because the salary cap is in place because it sort of evens out the playing field a little bit. Otherwise, we have people like if you are the Ballmers of the world or the Waltons of the world where you can just go buy whatever fancies you, and you can. It's like a no contest.
Now, I will say, I think the biggest thing is that he got caught doing this before getting the championship. Because would your opinion on this change any if I told you that one Mr. Pat Bolin may have been accused of doing similar things with a Mr. John Elway and Terrell Davis back in the day? After the 2 back-to-back Super Bowls, the NFL did some investigating and was like, hey, John and TD have some money that you guys didn't report on the salary cap here.
And the one thing we should note is if in the salary cap, everything counts. Like all the like when you're seeing
bonuses,
bonuses, and when you're seeing them at like courtside, when you see their family at courtside, that all counts. Apparently the hotels and flights and all that are all accounted for as well. Like you're not allowed to give that. That's all included in their salary.
Yeah, as part of the compensation in the contract.
Correct. Yeah. Everything the owner gives to you, it counts.
And a good while now has been the business side people trying to figure out a way around that.
Yes, and this is the first time I've heard of it because it, like you said, it's not something that's super.
Yeah, the NFL one was not like widely publicized or anything. It's a thing I came across in some of my research for our quiz today.
Yeah, funny how it all connects. But that is the news that is sort of shaking around the world. The one thing that should be said is yourself, Mr. Adam Silver, has stated that this is like a cardinal like foul in the NBA. The NBA will not have any of this. So if there is any inkling of wrongdoing, I think the Clippers are going to suffer greatly.
There's going to be some repercussions.
Big repercussions. So we're talking about potentially voiding Kawhi's contract so that he's no longer a Clipper, taking away first-round draft picks.
Yeah, draft picks are going to go. You're going
to probably pay a fine of some sort.
Definitely some fines. It'll be interesting to see how aggressive the league wants to try and be in the punishment for that.
Yeah.
Assuming there is any. We have to see.
Who knows? I'm more than sure now that the NBA is for sure taking a look because I keep getting notifications because Pablo found this sometime in the middle of the week. I think it's like Tuesday or Wednesday.
I think there's definitely enough there to warrant like something is going to come of this. And also it is that slow portion of the off season where we're kind of begging for sports news.
Yeah, it's kind of, this one just happened to fall into everyone's lap and it does look a little sketchy, but also the company itself was not super kosher. So
yeah, no, once you start looking into this, it's like, hey, there is something fishy here.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Anyway, let's talk about some stuff that's happening live in action right now. Where do we want to begin with let's talk a little bit about baseball. Let's start there to begin with. Usually we end that, but so let's switch up the order. Switching up the batting order a little bit.
Yeah, sounds good. Well, where did we leave the Rockies last time? I believe they were still at 2 wins away from...
I think they were 3.
The 3 was their magic number last time. They stole 2 wins this week to get their magic number down to 1. Our Rockies are sitting at 40 wins and 101 losses.
101 is what I saw this morning.
Yes. And we will, I guess we'll go backwards to this because... just last night, we're coming to you on Saturday afternoon this week. Friday evening, we were witness to perhaps Kyle Freeland's greatest game of all time.
After he just needed to fight somebody. Who knew?
Yes, he's had a very eventful week this week, Kyle Freeland. He started a game against the Giants earlier in the week that he did not get very far into, but apparently just that little day off after being ejected in the first inning, after giving up a 2-run home run.
That's not going to be good for the ER.
It's not good for the ERA, but nothing was going to save that for Freeland this year. But yeah, so after getting basically a night off, he came back on Friday night and was pitching against the Padres, and apparently the Padres lineup just could not read his changeup on this particular night, and sometimes that's all it takes, is the right combination.
What are we, a bunch of middle school, high school athletes out here? We can't hit a curveball or a changeup? What's this?
Yeah, something. I mean, it was looking good out of Freeland's hand tonight, apparently, or last night, because he took a no-hitter into the 8th inning. He did end up surrendering 2 hits, did not quite go the full way, but 8 innings, no earned runs, 2 hits allowed. I think it was like 9 strikeouts or something. By far the best pitching performance of the season, of possibly his entire career, and by far our biggest highlight of a pitching performance from the Rockies. So that was a huge one. That was a victory for the Rockies to get them to that 40th win. They are the last team in the league to get into the 40s in wins. Do you want to guess what the next lowest win total is after the Rockies?
Next lowest after the Rockies?
Who's at 29th out of 30 in the MLB?
There's a couple teams who are bad, but not as bad as us. So probably like 48 would be my guess. 47, 48.
It is the Chicago White Sox at 53 wins. Both the White Sox and the Marlins are already in the 50s.
Damn.
Yeah, we are the only team. We're the last team to hit the 40s, and we're the only team still in them.
But we are on the road to not being the team with the most losses ever.
One more win, and we are still deep in this divisional match here. Where we are in the middle of a 3-game set with the Padres right now. Game 2 of that series is later this evening. The Dodgers, we go out to them, and then we go see the Padres in their home field. So a little Padres sandwich going on there with the Dodgers filling. So probably we'll get one of those wins in that trip.
Where are we this week? Are we out there or here?
We're doing this weekend here, and then all of next week we'll be in California.
Yeah, that California road trip's not going to be kind to us.
That's probably fair. It'll be hilarious if we finished the year at 40 wins. I think that'd be pretty great.
That would feel about right for how the season has gone.
Something like that.
How many wins since Bud Black's been out?
There was only like 8 on the ticket or something when he got let go. Maybe we were in single digits for sure.
Do you think we would have gotten here if he was still there?
If we had made no changes at all this season, we would for sure be even worse. Yeah, we'd still be in like the 20s for wins.
That is honestly a little depressing.
A little bit, but I don't think that's Bud Black's fault in particular, but just like. He's an old school guy. He's like a past generation of manager style.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like he was just kind of past. It was time to go off to pasture.
Yeah, a little bit. The fact that he even got extended in the offseason at all was kind of crazy.
Really.
Which is the wild thing to think about. He got an extension from the GM, and then a month and a half in, he had to eat his words and be like, actually, no, we shouldn't have done that. We shouldn't have given him the contract.
That's because little Montfort's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, basically. So that is what has been going on with the Rocks. That's the high point. They did lose that 3-game set with the Giants that I alluded to earlier, including the little was that Tuesday nights that we had the eject, or was that Monday night?
I think it was the second game.
Okay, so that was Tuesday night, where if you didn't see it, because not everyone is seeing the highlights from the lowly NL West teams, in the very first inning, Rafael Devers cranked a 2-run home run off Kyle Freeland and really made a meal out of watching that thing fly into the second deck, to which Kyle Freeland had some words for him, chirped him a little bit and said, hey, get going around the bases. Don't just stand there watching it.
It's Rafael Devers' world. We're just living in it, apparently.
And Rafael Devers got distracted on his way around the bases, had a few words to exchange with Mr. Kyle Freeland, and one phrase led to another, and all of a sudden the bench is cleared in the middle of the field. Ejections were had. Kyle Freeland was out of the game. So I don't think any of the Giants were ejected.
Nope, not a single one.
Which is absolutely wild because they A, did the showboating, B, were the first ones out of the bench, and then C, one of their guys out of the bench shoved Kyle Freeland, like started the kerfuffle directly. So I'm a little
potentially they might be the bench guys whose names I have no clue who they are.
I mean, I didn't look too deep into it.
There was only like 4 or 5 ejections.
It was very funny seeing what the reactions were around baseball because most people didn't care. They had funny lulls. Haha, look at the bad teams fight each other. Giants fans thought for sure that Kyle Freeland was, I don't know, casting evil wizard spells with his taunt. What could you possibly say to a guy that's so bad to warrant a benches clearing brawl? For my money, that is wild for Devers to be milking a home run in a meaningless game at the end. Like, we're in September, man, and neither one of these teams are in playoff contention even a little bit. What are you doing? It's a Coors Field home run. You can enjoy it a little, but it's the first inning. You just don't milk it. Like, act like you've been here before.
San Francisco is closer than we are by rocket ships.
Closer, but they're not in the hunt even a little bit. In fact, the National League West is probably going to be one of the wild card spots. Whoever doesn't get the division is going to be the other wild card.
Because who's up there? Is the Padres and then like Diamondbacks are in?
Dodgers and Padres are currently the kind of last two fighting it out for the lead here. The Giants have fallen 6 games behind. So we're at Dodgers at 78 wins, Padres at 76. Giants are third place with 72, Diamondbacks at 71. That 6-game stretch without the Dodgers falling in the toilet completely, not going to happen in the last 20 games here. So whoever doesn't take that division lead here between the Dodgers Padres is going to slot into the second wild card spot because the first one is already locked up by the Cubs with their 81 wins.
Who's ahead of them?
The Brewers with 87, who have been the hottest team in the second half by far.
Forget they're in that same like central division.
Yeah, the Mets were in competition. Mets might still be in the conversation for that second wild card spot. They're at 76 wins behind the Phillies 82 in the National League East. So they're not going to win that division, but they might sneak in if they have the tiebreaker against currently the Padres. So that's how our playoff seeding is looking. Phillies are in, Brewers are in, Dodgers are in currently. Mets, Cubs, Padres all looking to make that wild card. And then on the American League side, Blue Jays are in, Tigers are in, Astros are in. And the 2 wild card spots in that American League side are almost certainly going to the Yankees and Red Sox. Who are both tied at 78 wins.
Those are some fun playoff series. Actually.
So that will be absolutely insane if the Blue Jays take that division and make the Yankees Red Sox be the wild card series.
That's going to be a good time.
It'll be exciting
especially for the Red Sox, who have not been relevant in a little bit now. A
little bit, yeah. That's a good comeback for them. So that's how we're looking in the playoff picture right now in the baseball world. What other news did I want to cover? We had a pretty eventful Yankees-Astros series this week with a few highlights coming out of that one, including some confiscated equipment and some bad teamwork.
Yes.
That first one... Which one happened? I think the catcher cross-up happened first.
The catcher cross-up happened first.
Where Framber Valdez, who is a shame upon our almost shared namesake, gave up a home run against the Yankees in a game that, like, it was 4-0 when he came in relief, and then his catcher tried to tell him to like step off for a pitch. He's like, hey, wait, just step off, reset, let's redo this thing. And the dude just didn't, powered through the windup, and the pitch got smoked for like a 2-run home run. And in a seemingly little tantrum fit, threw a 93-mile-an-hour sinker instead of an 85-mile-an-hour changeup, and caught his catcher square in the middle of the chest, because that's what happens when you throw a lot harder than the guy is expecting to have to catch. And all the cameras caught it. Every professional pitcher who saw it was like, yeah, he did that on purpose.
It's kind of obvious to tell, especially from all the
reactions.
The reactions I've seen across, because it's like, well, if it was like an unintentional cross up, he would be like,
the pitcher would have immediately been like, oh, my bad.
So he'd been like, my bad, or also like, what are you okay? It's like, what just happened there?
There was no check on the well-being of the catcher. He just turned around and waited for a new ball.
Yep.
So that was a funny one. And then right after, was it the next day? Who was it?
The next day.
Yeah, next day in that series, the Yankees, I didn't remember who it was who was at bat, smacked a double out to the wall, and then they had
It was an Astros batter at bat.
No, he was... Oh, yes, he was an Astro, but he had played for the Yankees last year, was the big sort of drama to that. So they were like, hey, check his bat after the at-bat. We don't think that's legit. And sure enough, it was not. That he had... Because what he had done is kind of just... It looked like sort of whittled away the paint off of his like sweet spot on his barrel, which seems innocuous, but is very firmly against the rules.
I don't understand what, like, I know there's like a fine set of rules for a bat.
They're pretty specific about the dimensions in both physical, like length, width, circumference, and there is a pretty specific range of weights. Like, I don't think you're allowed to go over 40 ounces anymore. Part of that is also the specifications on what can and cannot be on the coating of the bat itself, including like tar pine is still good. Have been some other substances throughout the years that have been trialed and determined to be illegal. And in this case, it is a matter of removing the paint on the finish of the bat makes it no longer a perfectly symmetrical surface. I think is the bigger, like the most obvious rule he broke, but I'm sure there was also some weight issues there as well.
I have no clue. What is a bat?
It's really wild, especially when you watch cricket players do very similar mechanics with a wildly different shaped device.
Very much so.
So that's very interesting. My last note out of the baseball world this week is from the Savannah Bananas, Banana Ball.
The true baseball.
True baseball. They are once again kind of taking advantage of empty stadiums. While the Padres are over here in Denver, out in San Diego, they are hosting the Firefighters and the Bananas. For a little weekend series out there, which is, of course, another sold-out event. But the thing that I caught this week is that the Bananas have announced that they are doing 2 more teams for the 26th season, and that will be the first season where they are non-exhibition games. They will be an actual, like, proper league with standings. So instead of they are planning on growing out of the touring. Well, I don't know about out of the touring model, but
it'll be similar to like how the PLLs do.
There will be enough, team competition there that they can start, saying this is a 6th. Our original six.
Can't have a playoff series and there's only the four teams.
Everyone makes it in a 4-team league into the playoffs, no matter what. So yes. Right in time for our contract negotiations in MLB to be taking place. Banana Ball is set to take the country by storm, it looks like. But yeah, so I believe second week of October 9th is when they have said that they will announce the identities of the next 2 Banana Ball teams.
I assume they're somewhere in the South.
Almost certainly. So far, we have Savannah. It's the Texas Tailgaters. I can never remember that name for some reason.
The visitors who are just an innocuous, I think it's a Georgia team as well.
Party Animals don't have a city associated.
No, they're all like Savannah. The other 2 are like Savannah teams because they were all kind of a local gig at the one time.
Yeah. So that to look forward to in the near future as well. Some more, we'll find out which team potentially Shohei can be starring for with his down year.
Sometimes he's getting paid a lot, a whole lot.
Well, Shohei specifically is getting paid a lot in the future.
Yeah, that's he's still doing pretty okay.
He's got a very good deal. It's fine.
Yes, very much so.
But otherwise, that was all my baseball news.
Let's wrap up this WNBA here. Boy, oh boy, do we have a whole lot more teams now in the playoffs. Atlanta's locked in a spot. Phoenix locked in a spot, Liberty locked in a spot, and the newcomer, Golden State, also getting a spot in. We have 3 teams fighting it out for those last 2 spots. Indiana, who we'll talk about here in a second, Seattle, and LA, all fighting for those last 2. So someone's going to go home. Of course, Washington is now out, and we've known Connecticut, Chicago, and Dallas all out for sure.
Been out for a little while.
For sure. Indiana's story this week is there's going to be no Caitlin Clark for the rest of the season. They are down, I think, 4 of their 5 starters, in fact.
Yeah, pretty rough. I mean, what do you do when it's like, oh, everyone we wanted in the starting lineup got hurt this year?
Pretty much. They have 1 starter left, I think, and it's going to be a tough uphill climb for them, especially with the teams that we've kind of already talked about. I mean, we know what the Lynx are made of. Atlanta they're pretty good all around. Vegas is yet to lose still.
And now knowing that arguably your best player is not going to be back this year.
Nope, it's going to take a lot of grit and grind to get her done. But I think they will probably maybe lock in a spot. They are the team I would expect. If anyone's going to fall, it'd be them.
I think right now they are in that 7 spot for the moment, but they are tied record-wise with Seattle. And then, LA is just the 2 games behind them right now. So that, how these last few games play out could be very important.
It's going to be very, very important. I mean, LA has to face Vegas towards their very last game of the season. But other than that, I mean, Phoenix has been a little bit on the slide, so LA can grab that one. And I think they have Connecticut or Dallas.
They've got Dallas,
That's not like a terribly tough schedule except for Vegas. Win a couple of those. I mean, they'd have to win all of them.
They have 3 games left on the schedule. Yeah, they have to win out.
Yeah, which is... I mean, unless Vegas takes it easy on you, and it's like whatever.
Oh boy! Imagine try to break the streak to get into the playoffs.
Imagine trying to break the streak to get into the playoffs as a former player of that team.
Yeah, great storyline.
It's a hell of a storyline, especially if you do it and heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, keep an eye on that Thursday, September 11th, the last day of the regular season for that Aces Sparks matchup. Potentially very important, because otherwise. Valkyrie's Lynx is kind of interesting there, but almost certainly the Lynx will be resting everyone. Actually, they're already, those 2 should be rested completely. Sky Liberty is not much of a matchup, and Wings Mercury also. Yeah, so Aces Sparks, last game of the season.
Yeah.
Could be something.
Yeah, it's really up to the teams who are sort of outside to be a little bit more of an upsetter than anything. I think Washington and Dallas both could upset. If Dallas beats LA, that's kind of it for them. Washington could upset Indiana because they are missing all their starters.
Yep.
So that's possible. But the WNBA is looking more and more interesting. It is unfortunate we will not see Caitlin Clark again, sort of as a season-ending injury. But I think there's a lot more fun to be had now, especially right now with the way things are going. Vegas is not lost yet. Minnesota's picking back up sort of where they left off. Nafisa will get back into it. Stewie will be coming back for the playoffs, we know. So I think it's going to really come down to those 3, and I think potentially Atlanta, who I think is probably the best all-around team. Like, there's no huge superstar on that team. So,
yeah, absolutely, and it'll be interesting to see. Liberty have kind of fallen out of that top kind of echelon here with Stewie being out so much the second half. They went from kind of looking like that number 2 lock to now they're in the number 5 spot. So it seems like a longer shot for them to defend the title this year. The Lynx definitely seem like the favorite. Aces are the hot hand coming in at the end of the year here. They'll be very exciting to see how that all shakes up. I've heard quite a bit this week that Angel Reese is having a tough time.
She is not having so much fun out there in Chicago. She's never been on a losing team like a lot of these different athletes have been. They've kind of been a star everywhere they go. So for a lot of them, it's a little bit of a culture shock to lose, and understanding like losing 1 year is bad, but then to get worse is that's a tough deal. I get it. And I kind of understand the coach that she brought on last year and how she had a good relationship got fired at the end of the season for some unknown reason. And now they're having battles because she's a big media personality and said some things that understandably would upset her teammates.
I didn't even see the exact quote of it. I've kind of seen the second hand. I've seen that she had to apologize for the way things might have been taken in an interview that she did. but they still suspended her. They sat her for half a game.
Yeah, she basically said if this is what we're doing and how things are going, I don't really want to be here. I want to go to somewhere who's going to win, which...
Right. So, yeah, I see where the issue is. She's talking about, like, I expect better out of where I play, and it comes off as I do not want to play here anymore.
It could be a little bit of both, but yeah. I'm sure someone in her media team was like, you cannot say that.
We got to work on, the phrasing there a little bit.
That you can't say that. You may mean it, but you can't say that.
You might be right. You might mean it. Yeah, but you got to be careful about how you talk about the people who are paying the paycheck.
Yes, very, very much so. So I don't know what's going to go on with her. Depending, especially towards the end of the season, Cardozo has been playing extremely well. She was drafted ahead of Angel Reese.
Well, so she had that half-game benching for the interview comments, and then she had the one-game suspension for the technicals.
Yeah, because she threw an arm basically into someone's head.
But they have a rule about like for every 16, or is it every 8?
8.
Every 8 you have to. Yeah, with wild. Just unfortunate timing for like we said, underwhelming season for her team so far. She had to battle some injuries this year too, right? She
did. She battled injuries since last year when she messed up her hand right before the playoffs when they just snuck in.
Yeah, because she was dealing with that through the unrivaled summer too.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Very tough sophomore season for Angel Reese.
Yeah, like I said, it's tough to be not on top anymore, coming from LSU where you were in the championship or in the at least the hunt to grab a championship, to now you're down there.
Yeah, the game stopped mattering a while ago.
A little bit.
That's very difficult. Like you said, it's difficult to adapt to when all you've known in your young career is winning.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about some happy news here in the Denver area. Let's talk about some PLL.
Yeah, absolutely. As we have been eagerly waiting for, the PLL playoffs took place on Labor Day. And was a very entertaining show if you are a lacrosse fan. That first game on Labor Day was the Philadelphia Water Dogs against the New York Atlas, and this one was a little bit of a David Goliath.
We knew that coming in a little bit.
Yeah, the Water Dogs were underdogs, to be sure, and they looked the part for the first quarter. They went down like 6-0 right off the bat.
Yeah, that Atlas team is not to be trifled with.
It was very rough looking, and then a couple of 2-pointers, which are, I still think, a very genius game design part of the PLL to have that 2-point line. Immediately got the Water Dogs back in the hunt to make the rest of the game interesting. However, just not quite the same level of talent to keep up with the Atlas, who were basically just kind of going at their speed the entire game. Philly kept trying to play catch up, but late third quarter, fourth quarter fouls, the Atlas just kind of did not miss on the opportunity with any of the man advantage, and were able to put that one away, sending them to the finals, where they would play the winner of the Kavanaugh Cup, the California Redwoods, versus the Denver Outlaws. And everyone was very eager to see how the Outlaws would play after not having been in action in a calendar month.
That's kind of crazy.
Since week 9, it was fully 4 weeks ago that the Outlaws had to play a game, which was against those Atlas. It was one of the games of the year. So, yes, the Outlaws came out looking not up to speed.
As one who hasn't played in an actual game would.
Yeah, pretty to be expected. It was a 4-0 run for the Redwoods out of the gate. But by the end of the second quarter, right before halftime, the Outlaws were able to sort of like, oh, hey, we have some of the best players in the world, don't we? And sent them out there and tied the game up at 6. And then coming out of halftime, shut the Redwoods out for 22 minutes, I want to say, which is over the entire third quarter. And were able to put that one away pretty handily by the end. Brendan O'Neill was kind of the star of the show for the Outlaw. I think he had a 6-point game with 2 goals, 4 assists, something like that. Very impressive. And a pretty obvious showing of who those finalist teams were going to be by the second half of both of these games. So we are lined up for another treat of Denver Outlaws versus New York Atlas, the rematch on September 14th, which will be in next weekend. We'll have that action. So another bye. Well, they get the week off here, and then championship.
Just what you need when you already had a month off.
Right, very well rested. Now, like I said, this is a rematch of the Week 9 matchup, which was one of our games of the year, and came down to the wire. In that matchup, that was the second half of a back-to-back for the Outlaws, so kind of bodes well for us. We beat them on short rests before. We've now got a full week to game plan for them.
It is a little bit crazy that, right? Both these teams have had a month off, essentially. Atlas, not quite as long, maybe 3 weeks off instead of the month.
They'll have
now they're going to get
4 out of 6 weeks
now
off.
They're going to get another week off. And that's insane for a playoff schedule.
The scheduling is very generous for
if you
player recovery.
If you are on a hot streak, God forbid.
Yeah.
But if you are just good enough to kind of roll out there and be the best team, God bless you.
Yep, absolutely. Our Outlaws are, for the first time in their PLL career as a franchise in this league, heading to the championship. This match against the Redwoods was their first playoff win in the PLL league history, since none of the records from the old whatever
they've been erased.
Yeah, basically. This is a new thing. New team, but starting to write the championship history right now.
History still feels the same.
Basically. So, the good guys won their match and are heading to the championship, which we love to see.
Love to see it. Let's put away these round balls, these actual ball things, and let's bring out that funny egg-shaped ball. Let's talk a little bit about that football.
Hand egg.
We have kicked off the season with 2 very interesting games, I would say. One, because that we'll talk a little bit about that Thursday night game and the whatever that thing was. And then we had a Friday night game because we are out in Brazil.
Yes.
Spreading the great word of hand egg, and they were like, that's no ball.
Exactly.
Which, understandable. Thursday night, what a game. Philadelphia looked pretty incredible. Dallas looked pretty okay as well.
Better than anticipated.
God himself said, please no more. Please no more, because neither one of these teams are really playing defense for the most part. I mean, not much to be said here. Of course, Dallas got rid of their best defensive player, and and unfortunately, moments into the game, Philly's best defensive player had to get sent off the field because him and Dak had a little misunderstanding. Dak spat, and he thought it was at him, so he spat on Dak, and you can't be spitting on people. The
second spitter always gets caught.
Yeah, and so he had to be sent off the field, and of course that hurts because Jalen Carter, who's the guy who got kicked off, dominant force for Philly. Missing him, you cannot be missing your best player, especially when he's the guy who's breaking up all the line, is taking all the double, triple teams and things like that.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, just a teensy bit suspicious that first play of the game, Philly has their best defensive player removed. Certainly not any way for the NFL to try and even the odds in this one or anything.
No, I don't think that. He did spit on the guy, and it's hard to tell because Dak was like, did Dak spit at him? I don't know. Maybe not.
It for sure is the sort of thing that, like, why do you even put yourself in that position?
Correct.
For game one.
Correct.
Game one, drive one.
Yep.
Haven't played a down yet.
Yep. He played 2 downs, I do believe.
Oh, okay.
He got 2 in.
Still on the first drive, though.
Yes, still on the first drive. Very, very early on, unfortunately. Dallas, as we kind of expected, they didn't look... I mean, they looked okay. Without
as good as Dallas has looked recently.
Without the sort of Jalen Carter out there wrecking things for them. They were been moving up and down the field. They were behind for, I think, pretty much all of the game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
We did have, it was like an hour and a half weather delay from God himself, which is like everyone is sort of done playing this game by now.
The one weather condition that will put a pause to an NFL game, which is lightning.
Yes. So they did have to bring everyone back onto the field, and it did not look quite the same. Like everyone, you have to
get... It
was
basically a different game.
Pretty much, because you had to get locked back in and everything, and the Eagles they did not look the same afterwards. Like before we had our impromptu break, Jalen was kind of doing his things, and there was no stopping Saquon. And then coming back from Saquon didn't really do anything. I'm pretty sure he rushed for -1 yards afterwards.
Something, yeah.
Which is a little insane. Jalen did kind of keep carrying him through. Funny enough, they were the two top rushers, I think, in the game. Saquon with 62 yards, I do believe, or 60 yards, and Jalen had like 60 yards or something like that. So that
Jalen had 62, yeah.
Yeah, which is like, I don't know. How do you stop?
Yeah.
They have a lot of different options. For the most part, Philly does feel and look the same as they did last year. Mostly, I think.
Which was a Super Bowl winning team.
Pretty much, which isn't a bad thing to say. I would like to see them out there with Jalen Carter to get sort of a better look at how they feel overall. And again, first couple weeks of the NFL season, really a lot of dudes just figuring out because they did not spend very much time out there in the preseason. A couple drives, if any. So exciting to see how they continue from there. Dallas fans, I think that might have been, you might be on a Rockies ride here. That might have been your high point, and potentially it might be only downhill because their division is going to be tough. Washington's very good now. We know Philly's the Super Bowl champs and still are en route to kind of creating a little dynasty for themselves, but that is yet to be seen. New York is doing New York things, and then they'll have the rest of a bunch of other people who are not a bunch of slouches that they have to go play without Micah on their field.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, the league is in such a state where if you're not improving, you have gotten worse.
Pretty much.
It's hard to say that Dallas has improved this offseason.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the game, though, we did see lots of oopsie-daisies. CeeDee Lamb had a rough go out there, especially in that second quarter.
In a game that was 24-20 with only one field goal in the second half, the Cowboys did have a chance with the ball and plenty of time at the end of the game, and it was not pretty.
Nope, it was not.
At least 3 separate drops in that final 2:34 that really would have swung the momentum of the game if any of them had been picked up.
Yeah, and to the credit of Dallas Cowboys, Dak looked he looked okay.
For the time he had and the weapons he has to throw to, he was putting the ball in pretty good spots.
Yeah, I can't blame him for...
Hard to argue that he was the problem there.
Touchdown passes can't be on the floor. That's all we know.
Basically. Yeah, that was a very funny way to kick off the NFL season with a big, long pause.
Confusing all around because it was like the NBC broadcast on ESPN or whatever it was.
It was the Sunday night broadcast crew on, and that's a whole history of that first game of the year. Yeah,
and everyone needs to start off the season with some Collinsworth. It's what everyone needs.
For whatever reason, it's the first game, the NFL kickoff, the first game of the season, has been packaged up with... It was originally packaged up with Monday Night Football deals, which then got switched over to Sunday night deals. So now whoever has the Sunday night broadcast deal gets that game one. It's,
Yuck.
Absolutely.
There's a lot.
And then we had our Friday game.
Boy, oh boy, what a shock that one turned out to be.
Which I did not realize we had sent Kansas City and the Chargers out to Brazil.
Yes, which Pat Mahomes said Kelsey didn't know where Brazil was.
Boy.
Even though he had just been there in the past year or whatever with Taylor.
With the tour, yeah.
Yeah, which prompted Kelsey to mock Mahomes in a Mahomes voice.
Very good. Very fun because both of those guys looked pretty.
That is kind of where the fun stopped about there.
Yeah, that was as much fun as they had. Mahomes and Kelsey both as much fun as they've had carrying this Chiefs team for the last however many, like 5 years, it feels like. Yeah,
the one thing I will say is it doesn't. Mahomes has the problem where he really kind of only has Kelsey, which is like. Once you know who the game breaker is, you can kind of strategize around that. No one else on the field in Chiefs history, like without a Tyreek Hill kind of guy out there, which Hollywood Brown is supposed to be that, but is not quite. You kind of know what to expect from them, and they're not going to run the ball. So they have, I think their top rusher was 20 yards, which is insane for a game.
Yeah, there was no running game in this one.
And again, I think they were playing from behind the whole time too, which is you got to throw the ball to try to score early, I guess is the thought.
Something.
And the lack of defense does not help because everyone else is getting paid on the other side of the ball.
That was, I think, the most glaring thing is that the Chiefs could not really generate any pressure against the Chargers whatsoever.
You can't generate pressure or get any stops. You're just out there huffing and puffing the whole time.
Yeah.
And I know that Harbaugh offense is going to with strain drives because he likes to run the ball and short little dinks and dunks. So it's not going to be a one hitter quitter where we're just gonna we're out there for 5 or 6 plays. You're gonna be out there for a good like 12-15 plays.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty confident the Harbaugh brothers come out of that West Coast offense coaching tree where it is maybe we have some plays that'll get big 60-70 yard chunks, but mostly we're interested in converting a lot of
5, 6, 4.
We want more first downs and to burn clock.
Yes.
Than we do want touchdowns necessarily. And if you can operate it, it's a very effective offense, as we saw in our
especially if there's
days.
Nothing out there to stop you. You're just burning clock the whole way through, and you're keeping the best guy off the field, Mahomes or Kelsey or the duo themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't do anything if you're sitting there on the side.
Uh-huh. Yeah, pretty perfect game plan from the Chargers, and Justin Herbert executed to perfection just about.
Yeah, I was not expecting them to. I guess I didn't expect the Chiefs' kingdom to be so down early on. Again, it is the first. This is kind of how they started off last year, whereas like they didn't look very good in the beginning and worked their way all the way through.
And then all of a sudden, week like 13, they're just like, oh, actually, no, we're turning it back on. We're the Chiefs from last year.
Yeah, I assume they're going to go for a similar strategy here. But I don't know. It's tough to tell that without anyone to stop the ball, which is half of the game, unfortunately. There's nothing I don't think they could do right now.
Yeah, that's the biggest red flag. If you're a Chiefs fan, has got to be the lack of stopping ability from that team right now, because it's hard to look at the rest of the division. If the Chargers gave you this much trouble,
the division's not going to be fun for them because they're going to have to see the Chargers again, and I assume it's going to be looked very similar because like they're going to still have the same weapons mostly. There's going to be some injuries and stuff like that, but when they face us, it's going to be the exact same thing.
If anything, I think most people would probably rate our offense a little more.
Yeah,
than the higher than the Chargers.
Our offense is slightly better, perhaps, but our defense is much better than theirs for sure.
Yeah. Very exciting for not Chiefs fans.
I will say, though, for a game in Brazil, though, where you're kind of in a neutral territory, allegedly, I think it was supposed to be like a Chiefs home game or something like that.
So it was listed the Chargers as the home team, but the Chargers are used to having the opposing team's jerseys be the most predominant ones.
Yeah, they don't really have a home per se.
Yeah.
But the way that the international NFL works is you get designated spots. Like ours is, I think, Mexico or one other, I think.
Generally, the Latin American countries go to the California teams and whatever.
And the Cowboys.
Sure.
America's team.
Yeah. As it is.
Looking forward into the NFL week, of course, we will take on the Titans this week. We'll see Cam Ward in action for his first bout of his rookie year. Other games to sort of look forward to this week are going to be the Buccaneers and Falcons, because that's going to be a sort of give you a tell for what the NFC South is going to look like. Granted, I don't think it's going to be very good. I think the Buccaneers should win that game. Falcons are going to be out there with Michael Penix, who I notably wanted last year, but he did not get to play so much. He does have an very expensive Kirk Cousins to back him up if things all go wrong. And Lions and Packers are going to be a fun one. That NFC North is looking a bit ferocious right now. Packers, as we know, went and got Micah. That's
going to be a pretty wild one to start for a divisional standing right out the gate.
Yeah, that's going to be a tough.
We'll be looking back at that one at the end of the season, being like, whoever gets that one is going to have quite the edge. And then the other one I'm looking at is the Sunday night game, Ravens-Bills.
That's the one I was gonna say. That's going to be the other fun one, because that's going to. I think it's early on, but I think that's going to be a good playoff sort of matchup.
That was the AFC Championship, wasn't it, last season?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
No, because the Chiefs went.
Oh yeah, that's it.
They had a divisional.
It was a potential playoff. They were both playoff teams.
Yes, very highly touted playoff teams. The Bills are still looking to get that first ring, and they're paying Josh Allen a lot, and they've had a lot of good opportunities, just nothing quite yet. Bad luck.
Yeah, very tough to be a Bills fan, because they're doing everything right out there. They're pushing all the buttons, they're pulling all the levers.
They have the quarterback. They've had all the talent around him.
They've tried to add defense. They've tried to add. How much more can you do without just getting the W's?
There's got to be just a bit of luck mixed into the secret recipe, unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunate for them. But we'll see how they do starting the season at home against the Ravens. And then Monday night, we've got Vikings-Bears. See if the Bears have done anything.
Another divisional matchup. Vikings are going to be looking. It's going to be an interesting matchup because one, there's no Sam Darnold out there throwing the ball. We get to see J.J. McCarthy step out there finally.
Yep, see the Rook take the reins.
Yep, going to be Caleb Williams versus J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback matchup.
The other one that I don't think is going to be a particularly good game, but will be telling on like how these teams are doing, Bengals-Browns. Will be a very interesting one.
This is the opportunity
because the Bengals have started so bad so recently. This is one where it's like you kind of gotta get this one out the gate, right?
You would hope, but the Browns might have some like trickiness under their sleeve.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see because that'll be a big shock to I think the rest of the NFL if the Browns can cut. It'll be one of those questions like, were the Browns good here or did the Bengals just do their regular suck thing?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of a bunch of good storylines coming through this whole week, right? Because if you look, Steelers at Jets.
Yep, that's another
Rodgers is returning home.
How do these guys look?
Yeah, but we got to see
returning home to the Jets.
Returning home to the Jets where he spent the last couple of years.
Sure.
Raiders versus Patriots. Show off, or it's going to be the showdown between the two new coaches in the league.
Okay.
Newish coaches, Vrabel and Pete Carroll, and new.
I forgot, how different both of those teams are going to look this year.
Yep, and then Dolphins and Colts. We get to see what Danny Dimes does. Was he a mistake to actually be the starter, or is he just safe enough to get you through?
Oh, yeah, and the Dolphins have to kind of get themselves back in that conversation of can they run, does their offense work without Tua and Tyreek? And last year the answer was no.
Probably the answer is still going to be no, especially the way McDaniel's offense sort of runs.
Yeah. Very good. Well, that is a forecast for week 1 of the NFL action. Did we have any other football news we wanted to cover?
I do not believe so. I think that is the grand coverage of it all.
Okay. I did want to put the little note. We don't do very thorough NCAA coverage here at This Week in Sports.
Because there's hundreds of teams.
There's a lot of them, but I do got to shout out. It was hilarious watching Bill Belichick get his butt whooped in week 1.
He was not very happy, and everyone having a good old time with him. I know he's going to be... Granted, I don't blame him because this is his first year there as sort of the general manager, coach, because you need both now.
His very first college football game.
And a lot of these dudes are not going to be his guys quite yet. So as very similar to how Prime has done things, you'll kind of see him shift. Prime had
it's going to take a little while for him to put this...
Yeah, Prime had the luck of bringing all his people with him.
Yeah, he took a little posse from Jackson State.
Yeah, now Bill Belichick's starting straight from scratch. So it's going to take him at least 3 or 4 years to kind of get things under him.
Does Gronk have any years of NCAA eligibility left?
He needs to go back to school.
Exactly.
No, he played his time out in Arizona because where else is he going to be able to go?
That fully checks out 100%. Then that's the only plan I had for Bill, so I guess we'll see what he comes up with. Maybe his girlfriend has some good ideas.
Who knows?
Okay, that was all I had for football then.
Awesome. Where do you want to go next?
Let's get the Players of the Week nominations in, I suppose, since I think that's all of our active sports from this week so far. My PLL nomination has to go to Mr. Brennan O'Neill with his 6-point performance in a playoff victory. And I've had a hard time coming up with a baseball nomination this week. I think I'm going to give the nod to Shohei. Just because he had a very good emergency pitching performance this week, but really no one in the MLB had like a head and shoulders above everyone else performance. Kyle Freeland, I think, would have gotten my nod had he not been ejected in his other performance this week. But the one really good showing kind of gets canceled out by the really bad showing, unfortunately. So I think that is going to be... Yeah, my 2 nominations. We're going to have Shohei, the classic baseball standby, and Brennan O'Neill for PLL. And who do you got this week?
I'm actually going to give my nod to the Golden State Valkyrie just as a team. It's tough as a first-year team to make it into the playoffs in any league. Very few times do you make it in the playoffs, and very, very seldom do those teams actually go on to win championships. I think it's like a handful that I can remember just off the top of my head.
As far as I know, the Avs are the only expansion, quote-unquote, team to
Golden State, I thought. Or not Golden State, the Knights, Golden Knights.
Vegas Golden Knights, they didn't win it the first year. They didn't make the playoffs the first year, but it took them a couple years to actually get the cup.
Yeah, but Natalie Nakase, who's their coach, said, hey, we are here to make the playoffs. We're not here just to come out and play. They want to get some things done early on, especially as the new kids on the block. So good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's see. Between those, I think I'm going to pull for Brennan O'Neill of our victorious Denver Outlaws to take Player of the Week this week.
I'm going to agree with you. After not playing for a month and having to basically win or go home, that's a big-time play.
It for sure is, and if you don't believe me, go watch some of the highlights from his performance this week. I think the PLL even posted up, and I'll put it on the post when it goes up on the website, a top 10 plays of the semifinals, and like 4 of them are Brennan O'Neill. There are plenty of like all these former lacrosse athletes and pros talking about how on a roster full of some of the best lacrosse players in the world, this is just a freak of nature dude who can do things no one else can on that field. He did basically the equivalent of like a step back long shot to take he was driving in towards the net, then pulled back, went back beyond the 2-point line, and then fired it over his defender to get the goal. So very impressive. I think going to be keep an eye on him for to be the game breaker in that championship matchup next weekend. And a hearty, well-earned Player of the Week to Brennan O'Neill.
Indeed. With Brennan O'Neill being crowned our champion, let's take us back to a good old classic. What are we got going on in that quiz?
Yeah, quiz time. Let me open that up for us here. Because we are recording today on the Saturday before Broncos play, I decided that we could take a little walk through the Broncos history and talk about some of our other Week 1 performances in Broncos history. And I've been relatively generous to you here. I've made sure that all of my questions have happened in your lifetime, so no like pre-Elway quiz material here.
Yeah, when we became the Broncos, not that other team.
Your Gramps would roll over hearing that blasphemy.
They've sat through a lot of tough games.
Yeah, I know. As the Denver Broncos.
Yes.
But let's see here. I've got 5 questions for you about Week 1 Denver Bronco games. And we'll start off back in history as far as we're going to go. In 1998, the Broncos were defending their very first Super Bowl championship. How many games did they win to start the season, including Week 1? And I have options for you. In 98, did they go on a 5-game winning streak, a 7-game winning streak, a 9-game winning streak, 13-game winning streak, or 15-game winning streak?
I think they only won 13 that year, if I remember correctly. So it's not going to be 15, but did they win all 13 in a row? That is the tough question. Did they get upset somewhere in the middle? Like, they were still a very, very good team at that time.
They were basically running back the entire Super Bowl roster, which was part of the investigation thing that the NFL did afterwards.
Don't talk about it.
Yeah, it's fine. We still got to keep the trophies.
We did. 13 sounds like a lot in a row. I feel like you get upset somewhere in the middle and you can possibly lose a couple more. What, 9?
5, 7, 9, 13, or 15.
It's got to be. I feel like 9. It could be 13, but 9 feels like a good amount of winning before things get a little bit too crazy.
You should have went with your gut. It was 13 wins in a row that 98 team rattled off. They lost 2 games in December, and then
because we were resting dudes.
Basically, 14-2 that season, and then ran it real easy through the playoffs.
I'm curious how. Because football is, all the sports in general have like a little bit of a weird history, but football in particular, where you have the 14 games total to 16 games to now we're up to 18.
Yeah, it's going to be a different, that's going to be a thing with all the records once we've gotten extended regular season. For sure. Let's see here. Next question. Which of the following statements about the Broncos' 2001 Week 1 game is false? One of these statements is going to be false. Statement number 1. This was the first game at Invesco Field at Mile High. Statement number 2. Eddie Mack was the hero of the game with 2 touchdowns. Statement number 3. Terrell Davis rushed for over 100 yards. And statement number 4. This would be the last football game played for 2 weeks.
In 2001?
In 2001.
This would be the last football game played in 2 weeks because I think 9/11 happens right after where we took a brief break.
Which makes that a true statement.
Yes. So
you're looking for the false one.
That one is for sure true. Does Terrell... 2001 you said?
2001.
Possible Eddie Mack, I think, is still on the team at the time. Did Terrell Davis rush for 100 yards though? What were the other one?
So your remaining 3 after eliminating the 2 weeks one. First game at Invesco Field.
No.
Eddie Mack 2 touchdown performance or TD with 100 yards rushing.
It's not the first game at Invesco because I think we built it earlier in the 90s if I remember correctly.
Incorrect. That was the first game at Invesco Field at Mile High.
Really? I thought it was...
The false statement here is that Eddie Mack was not the hero of the game with 2 touchdowns. He had 1 touchdown early in the game and then very dramatically and horribly broke his leg and was out for the rest of the season. And that was the Monday night game for 2001. And then, yes, unfortunately, the September 11th attacks happened the very next morning.
Yeah, and Terrell Davis did not last much long after where he got his knee.
I think he had 2 more years. Or no, Eddie Mack had 2 more years. This might have been the last ride for TD.
Yeah, Terrell's knee got blown up and never recovered.
A very grim year that year. But yeah, so that is 0 for 2 so far. No worries, though. Still got you can get the back half here.
Let's get the back half.
Alrighty. Let's see here. The 2009 Week 1 game against the Cincinnati Bengals had an unforgettable last-minute deflection TD scored by Brandon Stokely. What was the final score of that game? And I have some options for you here. Your options are, was that final 7-6, 10-9, 12-7, or 14-13?
There's such a weird array of scores.
It was a weird game.
It was a weird
score.
game. I know it wasn't the only touchdown or the only points that we had. So 10, did we score 10 or did we score a touchdown? I know it was the game-winning drive that, who even threw that ball to him? Was that? That
was the debut of Kyle Orton and Josh McDaniels' offense.
Oh, yeah, yuck.
So if that gives you any context on why these score arrays are so weird.
Like, why is this such a weird way of scoring?
Yeah, that was a Kyle Orton attempting to hit Brandon Marshall on the left sideline.
He was
throwing it short into double coverage.
He was aiming for Brandon.
Yeah.
He got one.
And then the ball got tipped and Stokely was there for the tip drill. Classic.
10-9. Possible, but
yeah.
Who were we playing that game?
That was the Bengals.
Bengals. They were decent.
They went to the playoffs that 2009 season, and in fact, this game was part of their downfall that year because it made them play. I want to say they had to play the Bills instead of the Ravens or something. Who they'd beat the Ravens twice that year, and that would have been the favorable matchup.
Yeah, going out to Buffalo in the middle of winter is miserable. Yeah, I'm gonna go 14-13.
It is unfortunately the final on that was 12-7.
What?
We had 2 field goals before that for a 6-7 deficit.
And then you
scored the touchdown.
You don't kick the field goal.
No, they went for 2 and missed. Josh McDaniels. Classic. So that's how we ended up with a 12-7 scoreline in that 09 Classic.
Oh, gross. Why?
Yeah. All right, just a couple more left here. We'll see if you can get on the board.
Let's go.
What is the most lopsided win in our Week 1 history? And I've got some options for you here. Was it 2008 versus Oakland? Was it 2013 versus Baltimore? Was it 2003 versus Cincinnati? Or 2021 against the New York Giants?
It wasn't 2021 because we were not super good then. 2003 was Did we? What do we have just gotten?
I'll go ahead and give you. These were all wins.
Yeah, they were all wins, but I'm trying to think what is the biggest win, because I'm like, we might have beat the Giants because God, were they awful too. But is that like a Simeon start or something like that, or a Brock Osweiler start? One of the two.
Ooh,
so
maybe.
That's not going to be it. The 2013 one is possible because that's like
if you remember your history, the 2013 one is a pretty notable all-timer in Broncos history.
It is. Trying to do the math, because one Super Bowl in 2015.
Yep.
Which would have been the 2014 season we would have started with. So 2013 would have been our first or second year with Peyton. Second year with Peyton.
2012 was the Peyton debut.
So that one's going to be, because that's probably when we had the greatest offensive potentially all time there.
Yeah, I would argue that, yes, 2013 Broncos is the all-time offense.
Baltimore, though, was very good that season, and unfortunately we did have a little bit of a collapse.
Baltimore was the defending Super Bowl champions that year.
They were, because boy, did we let them get that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that one, because because there's no more Ray Lewis there. They think they might have Terrell Suggs in their not Suggs, Bart Scott in their middle. They're missing a lot of defensive pieces. I think Ed Reed might have been hurt too. That's got to be the one.
You have fallen right into my trap card. While the 2013 one was memorable, a 49-27 victory with the 7-touchdown record set by Peyton Manning, the 49-27 is not the biggest win differential we had. In 2008, Jay Cutler led us to Oakland to beat the Raiders 41-14 in Week 1. And like we talked about, that era of Broncos history just kind of falls out of people's heads.
It doesn't fall. I've like the Jay Cutler, Brandon Marshall connect, and then it was Scheffler at the tight end, and
it was one of the high points of that season.
Different running backs to sort through it's still Shanahan era.
Yeah.
Because once Shanahan left,
McDaniels brought
McDaniels, and he said, "You're not my quarterback."
Yeah, that was the very tail end of that.
Yep.
All righty. What is potentially the easiest question here at the end?
We're doing well.
In the last 20 years, so from 2004 to 2024, what is the Broncos' record in Week 1 games? Are we at 500? Are we a winning record? Are we a losing record?
I think we're a losing record, because we've had way more bad years in the past 20 years since 2004 than we have, especially in the past 10 years. It's been not so great. And I know Bo lost last year, unfortunately, in a heartbreaker as well, in a season opener. I mean, you named sort of the handful of great games.
We've gone over a lot of them, yeah.
Of great games that we've kind of started off with, but I can't imagine it beats out. I mean, the Plummer years potentially, but I don't think you win majority enough to offset the amount of losing we've done in the Week 1 the past decade.
Unfortunately, you have gone 0 for 5 on the quiz this week.
Doing good. Were we at 500?
It is we are 11-9 in the last 20 years.
Really?
Despite the recent history of pretty atrocious Week 1 play, the old guard kind of kicked it up for year 1, or for Week 1 at least. So 11-9 is our current record. We can go to a nice 12-9 with a win over Tennessee this week.
Hopeful.
Absolutely. So yes, hopefully that was a fun little trip down memory lane for some important Week 1 victories that we hope to celebrate more of next week.
It's also funny because Week 1 in football is kind of just like, especially nowadays, it means absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah.
Which is like
I said, that 09 one with the Stokely catch, that was like the bright point of the season.
Yeah,
that team was not good.
No, they were not. We had Eddie Royal though at the time. He was our little hero.
I just rewatched the clip of it because I saw someone say like, "Oh, the 09 Week 1 game." Eddie Royal completely. The reason we were in such bad position on that last drive was because
Eddie Royal, kick return.
He tried to bring the ball out on the kick return and slipped on like the 15-yard line.
As tradition.
Yeah, it gave me some flashbacks for sure.
Yeah, and also I'm pretty sure that was a season where we had the beautiful yellow and brown jerseys.
We did run out the AFC classic throwbacks, yeah.
I like me a good yellow-brown jersey.
I still got those socks somewhere.
I have I have a signed Eddie Royal jersey in my closet, actually.
Nice. Well, very good. That was all I had for our closing quiz this week. I've finally stumped you in an equal manner. We now both have zeros on the board.
We like that.
Absolutely.
Like a good zero. Drop the lowest grade.
There you go.
Perfect.
Once we finally start doing the winning percentages on these things.
I was doing pretty good there for a while.
You had a good run.
Pretty consistent at my 5 or 6%.
I'm glad I have some loopholes to throw at you still.
Plenty of loopholes out there that I do not know about.
The history ones in particular, I think I get you in pretty good. You never quite as precise as I think your memory thinks it is.
No. Not for like you have to be so precise. Like the 40, it's like a 3-point difference between the two major wins or something like that.
41-14 versus 49-27. That's like a
14, yeah,
or a touchdown difference between them. Yeah.
Anyway, take us out.
Oh, yeah, that's my job. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with us on This Week in Sports this week. If you haven't already, please go ahead and leave us a 5-star review if you're listening on Spotify. If you're listening on YouTube, we would love a like and subscribe on the channel there. We hope you are enjoying the full episodes, the breakdown segments for each specific sport, and we're also starting to get closing quiz and some of our other little segments into their own clippable versions as well. You might see those rolling around on the Reels or on the TikToks or on the YouTube Shorts. So if you do give those views, leave them on in the background for several hours at a time if you like. That's always good and helpful for us.
That's how I handle all my shorts and reels.
But mostly the likes is good. And as always, you can find this episode and all the other episodes from 321 Productions at our website, 321pods.com, THREE21PODS.com, if you want to do it the hard way.
Indeed. Thank you guys for coming along. Go Broncos. We are in full hand egg season. Big week here for Denver. Outlaws winning, going to a championship that we can capture once again and bring back home to our beloved state. And who knows what sort of segment or scandal we'll cover next.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys next week.
Adios.